Senado hinggil po naman sa nCoV virus.
There are certain domestic airports that still don't have the adequate number of thermal scans. And I think in this light, the evolving nCoV, we need to ensure that all of these domestic airports must also be provided the additional thermal scans. Now, the next level, of course, would be at the community surveillance, where, as had been mentioned, the Epidemiology Bureau takes the lead. But let me just tell you that it's quite frustrating when we do all of this supposed to be whole of government approach to this particular challenge, public health challenge, since the health services and various capacities in providing these services, these have been devolved to the local government units. And I'd like to take this opportunity to perhaps for the Senate to consider. It might be time to review the local government code, in particular the devolved healthcare services. And I believe that, like the DepEd, they were not devolved, and there's even greater reason that health care, health services should be integrated and not fragmented as it is today, where the coordination efforts begin to pose serious problems, because the LGUs will invoke their autonomy. They will invoke that they have to be asked permission every now and then. So very frustrating, Kaya mas maganda ho siguro na aayon na we will really review the local government code. And then the third level, sir, is on case management. From the
Mr. Chair, if I may, Mr. Chair, quickly interject with the indulgence of Senator Lacson.
Go ahead, Senator.
Just a quick comment po that it may not be necessary to review the local government code, particular dun sa devolution ng health services, kasi nga, kapapasa lang natin ng Universal Healthcare Law na isang parang paggamot kahit papano nung devolution of health services. In fact, baka pwede nating, Chair, tignan na test run ito ng implementation ng Universal Healthcare Law, ng pag-respond niya dito sa 29 nCoV. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And to add to that, na-devolve yung function, naiwan naman yung pondo. That is the problem. Whenever a person that would like to seek medical help or assistance, when they go to their local government executives, sasabihin sa kanila, na-devolve yung function pero yung pondo nasa DOH. And when this person goes to the DOH, hindi rin i-entertain. Sasabihin, wala na ho sa amin yan. Pumunta kayo sa local government unit. That is a problem.
Ang initial response, policy-wise, is that kaya po nagpasa po ang Kongreso ng Universal Social Health Insurance Law. Precisely, it's also one of the interventions, as Senator Riza has mentioned, na to somehow resuture the mangled parts of the health system of this country. And it's been successful to a certain degree. But the funding integration, the funding approach is not sufficient, because the supply side is again the big problem. Under a fragmented system, ang nangyayari po kasi, halimbawa, ang mayor, hawak niya ang supply side ng barangay health station and mga rural health unit. Samantalang ang gobernador, ang district hospitals and provincial hospital. Ngayon, under the Universal Healthcare Law, we have seen this as an obstacle, because some mayors are in fact saying, no, we don't want to integrate, because they're again invoking local
Another
government.
problem, Secretary, is yung funding gap. Di ba, we discussed that during the budget deliberations. How much did you receive under the 2020 budget for the Universal Healthcare Act, under the Universal Healthcare Act?
172 billion.
What is the funding gap?
The fund gap would be about
100 plus billion, di ba?
hindi naman po, kasi 257, so
Yeah,
that's about
257.
80 to 90 billion. Sir.
80 to 90 billion.
Yes,
How
sir.
would you cope with the situation?
Well, we are actually expecting additional funding. The proceeds from the implementation of sin tax
Okay.
is one. But the first year of the implementation of the sin tax law will only yield, I recall, from the DOF about 20 billion. And that is hardly enough, Your Honor. But just the same, since we are progressively rolling out the universal health care, we might be able to make it to survive because, as again, the law does not expect us to roll out nationwide on the first year of implementation, Your Honors. So I think this will give us ample time to make the necessary adjustments given the budget limitations. And hopefully in the succeeding years, the budget gap will be addressed more.
Thank you.
adequately.
It's already 3:10, Mr. Chairman. My last point. Yung returning Filipinos and residents, they're allowed to enter the Philippine territory provided that they should subject themselves to self-quarantine. What exactly do you mean by self-quarantine? Isn't this an impractical approach? Kasi pag self-quarantine, bahala na si Pilipino na bumabalik.
I was told by the EB that meron daw pong nag-check sa kanila na mga surveillance officers natin. But I have to check that on the ground. And I'm very interested to find out, Your Honors, that this is not just being said, but actually being done.
Especially that this is asymptomatic.
Yes, sir.
The Filipino returning resident wouldn't know if he is a carrier.
But there is an evaluation tool, a decision tool. For example, number one, kung wala kang lagnat, okay, negative, wala kang ubot-sibon, pero galing ka ng, doon una nga, interim guidelines namin, kung galing ka ng Hubei, okay, mapapara ka na, okay? And then, if you have one of the four other exposures, which means you have been directly in contact with a known case of novel corona infection, or if nakihalubilo ka sa isang ospital na natukoy na nakilala na nangalaga po ng novel coronavirus. Pangatlo po ay kung ikaw ba ay nagpunta doon sa live animal market, seafood market, at kung ikaw ba ay humawak ng mga hayop na sa ngayon ay natukoy na nila na galing sa hayop na posibleng one of the exposures. So meron po tayong magandang, I can give you the decision tool just to appreciate how we are guided to execute different interventions at the 7 levels. The level of border surveillance, the level of community surveillance, the level of contact tracing, the level of case management. Napaka-importante po ng case management. At the level of leveling up laboratory diagnostics, as we have discussed a while ago. And then, of course, yung case management, I've said that, kailangan pagalingin ho talaga. Yung mismong intervention on the ground, yung supportive treatment, etc. And then the prevention and mitigation. So different levels, different interventions po, Your Honors. And gusto ko lang I want to take this opportunity, sir, na of all of this, I think the most difficult is contact tracing. Hindi po talaga ito madali.
Huwag nyo na ibalik yung topic dyan, baka bumalik na naman sa inyo. Anyway, the practice of Indonesia, yung measure that they're employing in spraying their returning residents with antiseptic, it's rather, it is quite a extreme measure, so to speak. But would you find it more effective than what we are doing?
Your Honor, I have to find out
Fully
exactly
quarantine po yun, ha?
what is the chemical.
Diretso sa Natuna Islands, military base.
Yes, sir. I will have to find out, sir, kung ano po yung chemical na ginamit. Kasi kung yung chemical hindi naman naayon doon sa safety standards, baka...
I suppose it goes without saying, yung chemical gagamitin nila para dyan sa prevention or containment.
Yes, sir. Pero natin alam, mga chemicals ngayon, meron din mga side effects, toxic effects. So we'll have to balance it out, no?
Secretary Duque, baka pwedeng tumulong yung PNP sa monitoring po dito sa mga nag-self-quarantine, sa tracking. Yung PNP natin baka pwedeng makatulong dito sa self-quarantine natin sa monitoring. Yung Philippine National Police.
Yes, sir. Kasama po, bahagi po ng aming kasunduan sa Interagency Task Force, ito po si Secretary Ed Anyo, na yung pagbubuo po na tinatawag natin Novel Coronavirus Task Force at the local level, yan po ay pwedeng isama sa kanilang mga activities. Ito pong surveillance and other important intervention.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, may I just point out something that's, because the question a while ago raised by Senator Ping, tama ba, maayos ba na ipatupad yung pagdating ng mga kababayan natin na galing sa mga lugar na yon na infected or present yung coronavirus, magsi-self-quarantine? I think hindi yun nasagot ng maayos Tama po ba? Because right now, we want...
Thank you. Napansin ko rin po yun, hindi niya sinagot.
Kasi ilan yung naka-self-quarantine? Ilan yung pumayag magpa-self-quarantine? Kung yun nga po kaninang tinatanong natin na kasama doon sa loob ng eroplano, 17% lang yung na-contact. How much more yung conversion mo na dumating dito, sasabihin mo na magpa-self-quarantine ka at susunod ka and aasahan mo na talagang susunod siya. So we wanted to find out, again, go back to the main question. Tama ho ba? Ito, pinag-aralan ba natin to na, sige pag dumating kayo dito, mag-self-quarantine ho kayo?
Yung self-quarantine na kasama po yan sa protocol natin. Dahil kung wala ka nga naman sakit, sasabihan ka, manatili ka muna sa bahay mo, sa isang kwarto. But you have to take your daily temperature. You record your daily temperature, and then you watch out for signs of coughing or for colds and other signs and symptoms that may suggest respiratory illness. Pero ang mahalaga nga po rito, yung EB officer natin, tinatawagan yan at tinatanong yan, ano temperature mo today? 14 days gagawin yan just to make sure. Ngayon, kung meron ka ng
Meron po tayo, nakaset po yung sistema
Yun po ang akin
And you
na
expect
kaalaman.
that person na nag-decide na mag-self-quarantine would do what you're saying?
I think for their sake, they should do it because
If they are sick, if they are feeling uneasy. But if they are not, as we made mention a while ago, if it's asymptomatic, so right now, siguro, just to make sure that we have the systems in place, right now, how many are undergoing self-quarantine as we speak, yung latest data?
this is quarantine. Ilan? How many? Ilan ang naka-quarantine ngayon?
Pakidagdag na rin siya, tatanungin nyo, yung health declaration checklist, ba't nyo pinatanggal yun?
Dati,
Baka makatulong ngayon yun.
talaga makakatulong po yun. Dati, hindi ko lang
Pero
malaman.
pinatanggal nyo po
Bureau of Quarantine probably has the historical or institutional
Yung
memory.
yellow checklist.
Mr. Chairman,
Secretary,
Mr. Chairman, may I just on this point, perhaps, Mr. Secretary, the point being raised by Senator Lacson and Senator Villanueva is di tinatanong nila kung maayos, no? I think the point is, why don't you review it? The self-quarantine procedure that it's included in your protocol. Kasi self-quarantine, sinabi ninyo, sumunod siya, umuwi siya, di siya lumalabas ng bahay. On the 11th day, ang taas ng lagnat, may ubo sipon. Nagpa-check ngayon, meron. Ang kasama niya sa bahay, 7. O, paano kayo yun?
The real challenge.
Times 7 ninyo yung self-quarantine. Yung nag-self-quarantine, di ba? So, the point probably of the gentleman is pag-aralan niya, mukhang hindi effective yun, delikado yun. Thank you, Mr.
We'll do,
Chairman.
Your Honor. We'll do, Your Honor. We look at the gaps as we execute, we implement, and we will continue to review the systems.
Secretary Bello, Secretary Anyo, and Governor Kua wishes to be excused already. If there are no questions to them, they are hereby excused. And thank you for attending this meeting, Secretary Anyo and
Mr.
Secretary
Chair.
Bello.
Ako ho, may isang question
And
sana
just
kay
one
Sec.
final
Bello.
point lang
Kanino
before
po?
I terminate my interpellation. Pakibilisan nyo lang kasi para mawala na yung second death, third death, fourth death. No, pakibilisan lahat yung gawa. Salamat po. Yun lang.
Maraming salamat po for the reminder, sir.
Okay na? May tanong ka pa? Okay, go ahead.
Just
Secretary Bello.
is it my turn or boss just to ask
And,
question to
one more
Secretary?
last
Yeah,
question.
because I'd like to put this on record and we'd like to commend the Department of Labor and Employment for acting very quickly on the Labor Advisory number 4. I think a lot of our people are listening and attentively watching this hearing. Perhaps if the good secretary would give this information, Mr. Chairman, I think it's very important, especially for our workers, make sure that they are being protected.
Thank you, Your Honor. As mentioned by the Honorable Senator, we issued DOLE Advisory Number 4, Series of 220, and this is basically addressed to the employers, Your Honor. And this is a guideline for the care of workers when they are reporting to office. The employers are required to monitor the health condition of their workers, particularly those with fever, flu symptoms, and those who have traveled to or work in countries affected by NCOV or novel coronavirus, and in the event that the worker is suspected as having reported using the DOH hotline. This is also, Your Honor, and the guidance of the use of leave of absence. Kasi kung minsan, Your Honor, yung worker na ubus na yung kanyang leave benefits. So we are advising the employers na for humanitarian consideration, pagbigyan nyo naman yung worker na go on leave even without pay. There also, Your Honor, we also provided in this advisory yung social benefits of our affected workers, yung sa PhilHealth, sa SSS, and also sa ECC. Then finally, Your Honor, we have also an advisory on the technical assistance that we allow or grant to our workers. And this includes yung kanilang education on respiratory program, capacity building, and including information on this NCOV, Your Honors. Yun po. Ayun po ang aming advisory po.
Thank you, Secretary Bello.
Meron din po kami, Your Honor. Dagdag ko lang po.
We would like to acknowledge Senator Ralph Recto. And Senator Bato, it's your turn to ask questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have no more further questions to Secretary Doki. Naawa na ako masyado na siyang na-stress. But anyway, please don't feel you're being crucified in this issue. We just have very high hopes on you na you are going to save the Filipino nation from the scourge of this coronavirus. Kaya,
Thank you for the confidence, Your Honor.
we know that you need the help that you will get from all sectors. Tinignan ko nga according to the British Encyclopedia, Doke is the nobleman with the highest rank. Kaya napakataas ang expectation namin sa iyo na masave yung aming mga anak at ang buong Pilipinas from this scourge. Kaya isa lang hiningi ko sa iyo para mabawasan yung pagkapraning ng ating mga kababayan. Please, as soon as possible, i-account mo yung lahat ng pasahero na kasama nung Wuhan couple. And to do this, I strongly suggest that you use the Interagency Task Force to the Health. Andyan yung PNP. I guarantee you, andito yung number 2 man ng PNP. Give them the list, the manifest, within 48 hours, sigurado ako, ma-account na lahat yan. Kung hindi lang lumabas sa ating Philippine territory, accounted agad yan lahat yan. Dahil hindi yan mga kriminal. Ma-account nga nila yung mga kriminal na nagtatago. Yun pa kayang mga pasahero na walang kasalanan, hindi magtatago yan. Kaya napakadaling account yan. Mga 24 hours, accounted lahat yan. Gamitin mo lang yung Interagency Task Force.
We will do that with your
Please,
assurance, Your Honor. And,
Bilisan mo lang, sir, dahil yung mga
we
tao
will
na
do that.
papraning. Ha? Yun lang, sir. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
One more question from Senator Joel Villanueva.
Mr. Chairman,
Go
this
ahead,
is the only
Senator.
time I'm taking my 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, let me go back doon sa binanggit ni Senator Bato. We are here to help, Secretary Duque. We are here to support our department, especially the Department of Health. But we are as disappointed as you are, as I saw your reaction kanina doon sa binibigay na information. Again, I think the 17% na accomplishment rate at this point in time, just to figure out kung nasaan at kontakin itong mga pasahero ng airline na company na ito, hindi pa rin nagagawa. Siguro sir, just to give you another ammunition dun sa sino man ang nagpayo sa inyo doon sa Data Privacy Act. Dito sa Data Privacy Act, Section 4, letter E, point out ko lang po that the Data Privacy provides that the Data Privacy Act does not apply to Section 4, letter E, information necessary in order to carry out the functions of public authority, which includes the processing of personal data for the performance by the independent Central Monetary Authority and law enforcement and regulatory agencies of their constitutionally mandated and statutorily mandated functions. Siguro magandang ibigay niyo po ito dun sa nagpayo sa inyo kanina tungkol po dyan sa Data Privacy Act. And perhaps, if we can get a commitment from you, yung 11%, kailan magiging 100%, baka pwedeng malaman po natin, no? Kailan matatapos itong 100%, na tingin ho ng lahat dito, hindi lang mga senador, pati ho yung mga kasama yung resource persons already spoke kanina, na madali naman at kaya naman pong kunin. Hope we get your commitment. And perhaps if we can have a timeline, that's better.
Yes, Your Honor, we are committed to do this. Kasi as I've pointed out, and the records will bear me out, yung performance naman is not really that bad. Except for the flights. Dito lang kasi, nung unang agreement, ang rule of 4, sinabi sa akin malinaw, 4 sa harap, 4 sa likod, 4 sa tabi, nung mga naging positive. So, nagtataka ako, ba't naging 331 on the basis daw na baka naglakad daw yung pasyente o yung positive at baka nakahawa. Not understanding that they are human resource constrained. May constraint, kulang sa tao. Why will you do something that you know you cannot? So, ako naman po, I'm juggling too many things also. Hindi ko naman, I'm trying to put all things and, come up with a framework, operational framework, and monitoring. And this was something that nagulat ako. Ito lang naman, isang ito, yung sa flight. But we will do something about this. Rest assured, we will make the quarantine or the contact tracing as soon as possible.
Can we get a timeline, Secretary, to reach the 100% from 11%, 17%?
Okay. General Bato was saying in 48 hours, he can mobilize the police force to complement the efforts of our epidemiology bureau. So we'll try in 48 hours.
Go ahead, Senator Bato.
With the indulgence of my esteemed colleague, kunti lang. Sir, Secretary Duque, yung nililimit ninyo na gusto nyo 4 rows to the back, 4 rows to the front, 4 rows to the side, to the left, to the right. Alam mo,
Yun eh.
kung yung pasahero na yun, ako, nandun ako sa front, siya nakaupo sa likod, pinakalikuran. So malayo ang distance namin. Pero doon sa passenger lounge, matagal kami magkatabi doon. Nag-usap-usap kami doon sa passenger lounge, sa
Senator
VIP.
Paano pag nag-CR siya?
Nagsama kayo doon.
CR, pag hawak niya doon sa... Wala na. Damay na lahat yung nag-CR.
Hindi. Ito po kasi, kagaya na sinabi ko kanina, there is a 7-level interventions. So, pwedeng makalusot doon ka sa contact tracing mo, pero meron kang ibang mga interventions, di ba? Kung nagkasakit ka, dadali ka na sa ospital, case management ka na. O kung hindi naman, meron kang mask na sinasabi na kung may sakit ka, kasama sa advisory. No? Na you wear the mask, you monitor yourself for 14 days, you watch out for symptoms. The EB officer will monitor your situation or your clinical course. So marami ho tayo, yung washing of the hands. This is the preventive measure. So I think the way to appreciate this is in its wholeness. Mas yung lahat ho ng mga interventions, hindi in isolation of one and say that parang ito lang yung magiging gagawin ninyo. Kundi in the whole context of the 7-level interventions. Thank you, sir.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, just on that point, very quickly lang. You know, that flight came from Hong Kong. For all you know, you had 15, 20 asymptomatic patients or passengers. And therefore,
DZXL Special Coverage. Ang oras, 3:30.
That time check was brought to you by Joy. Purong patak, bisang katutak. That time check was brought to you by Gin Kapitan. Kayang-kaya mo yan. That time check was brought to you by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS 24 hours of germ protection. Shield Bad Soap, Shield Bad Soap. 24 hours of germ protection. Shield Bad Soap, Shield Bad Soap.
Protektahan ang kalusugan ng pamilya. Mag-Shield Bath Soap regularly. Kills 99.9% ng germs at recommended pa ng Philippine Nurses Association.
Shield Bad Soap, Shield Bad Soap.
Shield. Galit sa sakit, may malasakit. Shield Bath Soap. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified. World-class quality.
ACS.
Marami na ang natulungan ng Santon Plus Herbal Capsule.
Sinubukan ko uminom Santon Plus once a day kasi mayroon akong rayuma. Sumasakit yung dalawa kong paa. Nag-umpisa akong uminom, may naramdaman akong maganda yung pakiramdam. Encourage ko po kayo na uminom ng Santon Plus, maganda sa katawan. Nagpapasalamat po ko sa Santon Plus kasi malaki pong tulong sa naramdaman ko na arthritis at yung rayuma. At magaling na yung paa ko. Hindi na sumasakit.
Kayo rin, mag Santon Plus Herbal Capsule na. Mabibili sa mga butika.
Mahalagang paalala, ang Santon Plus Herbal Capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Love mo ko? Di tayo bagay. Malabo mata mo. Punta tayo EO.
EO Executive Optical. For state-of-the-art facilities and expert eye care.
May glasses ka na. See?
I see a brighter future with you.
Marry me na.
EO Executive Optical. Love your eyes.
If you love your eyes, come visit EO Executive Optical today for expert eye care. With over 100 branches nationwide to serve you, EO has been voted by consumers as a Reader's Digest Trusted Brand 2016 Platinum Awardee.
Noon ay love na love kita sa aking dishwashing. Ayun pala kadiri ka sa antibac ay bitin. Ang akala ko pa nga, lahat ng kalamansi dishwashing liquid antibac ang galing.
Kaya mag-Smart Dishwashing Liquid na. Mapakalamansi o lemon parehong antibac. May double tanggaling formula. Tanggal galing ang sebon, tanggal galing ang bakterya.
Smart Liquid Dishwashing Smart ang tanggaling-galing.
Smart Dishwashing Liquid. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS.
Walang mintis ang pagpapabreastfeed sa akin ni nanay. Kahit nasa trabaho siya, pinag-iipon niya pa rin ako ng breast milk niya. Ibang klase talaga siyang magmahal.
Upang makuha ang 100% na nutrisyon ng breast milk ni nanay, kailangan ng 100% na dedikasyon ni nanay. Sa unang 6 months ni baby, breastfeeding lamang, wala nang iba. Mula 6 months pataas, bigyan din siya ng ibang angkop na pagkain kasama ang breast milk.
Nay, salamat po sa tiyaga.
Suportahan ang first 1,000 days. Isang paalala mula sa National Nutrition Council, DOH.
That news was brought to you by ACS Manufacturing Corporation, ISO certified world-class quality.
One day, isang araw, ay napansin ko, toothpaste na binili ko sa fluoride, bitin ito!
Ang leading brand kasi, hindi lahat may maximum fluoride. Kaya, misis, mag-unique toothpaste. Lahat may maximum fluoride protection laban sa tooth decay.
That's why, kaya ngayon, unique ang toothpaste ko. Kahit anong kulay, maximum fluoride ito. Goodbye sa tooth decay. Unique toothpaste every day.
Unique toothpaste, manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation, ISO certified, world-class quality.
ACS.
Parami na ng parami ng parami ang guminhawa sa Santon Plus Herbal Capsule.
Ako si Jay Enriquez, isang estudyante. Problema ko ang mataas na sugar noon. Nag-change lifestyle ako at uminom ng Santon Plus Herbal Capsule. Wala na problema ko sa cholesterol.
Mabibili sa mga suking butika.
Mahalagang paalala, ang Santon Plus Herbal Capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Inuman na kasama ang tropa. Huwag kalimutan ang kapitan ng inuman. Gin Kapitan. Sarap ng init at hagod na kayang-kayang kapitan. Para sa tropang walang iwanan. Kapit-kapit lang. Gin Kapitan. Kayang-kaya mo yan. Drink responsibly.
Ang Pride with Fabric Conditioner. Ngayon, may blooming na bango ng Sakura.
Sakura, Sakura ang bango. Sakura, Sakura ang pride ko. Blooming ang labada ko. Pride, Sakura, Sakura.
Pride with Fabric Conditioner. May Sakura Blooming Pearls para sa labadang blooming sa linis, labadang blooming sa bango for as long as 24 hours.
Blooming ang labada ko. Pride, Sakura, Sakura.
Para sa blooming na labada, i-Pride Sakura mo na. Pride Sakura Blossom. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified. World-class quality.
ACS.
DZXL Special Coverage.
Other than that, meron pa ho ba tayong tinitignan at ano yung ina-anticipate natin? Do we have a rough estimate figures as to how many are we estimating? Especially kung pabalikin na po yung mga kababayan natin, magre-repatriate tayo. What are your proactive steps, Secretary, as head of the interagency?
Well, we're looking at in Mindanao, but of course we have to consult with the governor sa Bukidnon. We also have a TRC. It's a relatively very new, complete. It's a very nice facility. It's one possibility for people who might be infected in Mindanao or not infected, but those who might have the exposure to be kept there initially. But here in the, we looked at the Caballo Island as well, but kailangan maraming pang gawin dito. Yung po maganda yung sa TRC ng Fort Magsaysay. And the one of the set of buildings there, yun po yung gagamitin namin yung Phase 4. So, yun na po yung inihanda. Meron na pong palikuran yan, meron na pong kitchen. So, akin lang pong sisiguraduhin na by the time our repatriated compatriots come, handa na po ito.
What we are just saying, Mr. Secretary, is that siguro to summarize one word is anticipate. Let us anticipate this scenario at maging handa po tayo. No? Lastly, Mr. Secretary, yung sa testing binabanggit niyo po, RITM pa lang so far ang may capacity. RITM.
Yes, sir. Yan pa lang po. So,
and ang maximum capacity is 3,000.
3,000 with the given the stock of the RNA primer in store.
And are we looking at the possibility of duplicating itong ginagawa ho ng RITM dito sa 73 kung meron man capacity, yung ilan sa ating mga DOH hospitals?
Meron po tayong 5 subnational laboratories.
Okay, so are you looking at operating these 5 subnational?
Oh, yes, certainly.
By when po, Secretary? Ganda na yung may time frame ho tayo.
So it's about 8 weeks because they have to be very sure about the test results, the accuracy. Kasi pagka hindi accurate, delikado po tayo. kapag
Mga 8 weeks po,
Mga 8 weeks po.
Secretary.
Oo.
Okay. Mas mauuna yung sa UP siguro, no? Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next is Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a few questions to Secretary Duque. You mentioned earlier that there are 80 persons under investigation. How many of these 80 came from Wuhan?
Can I just ask my for the detail?
Shouldn't that be basic information? That of the 80, 20 or 10 or 5 came from Wuhan, similar to the other?
Not tracking, but I just wanted, because it's very fluid, yung kasi araw-araw may dadagdagan.
But can we have the number? How many came from Wuhan?
He's looking at it now, as of...
And the follow-up to that while they're looking is, what flights did they fly in from? Did they take? Is there also an effort? Assuming, I don't know, I don't have the answer, so you can. Was there an effort also to trace the passengers in that flight? If there are others from Wuhan who are included in this 80 under investigation.
Your Honor, they're guided by the flight manifesto, and I was told that they do have the flight manifesto. But the first answer to your question, how many from Wuhan, that's a very important question. I'm just getting the data.
It's a very important question which we would have expected by now that the Secretary of Health would know.
Forgive me, Your Honor, because of the enormity of the multiple operating systems that we need to put in place to mount, again, a more effective response. My apologies, Your Honor. Ano pa? My people are getting very nervous, Your Honor. They're
So they don't know.
No, they know. Meron naman, sir. Kaya nagkakamali sila ng pindot. We'll get back to you with my assurance.
Yes, but this really is a bit, this is quite disturbing that the Secretary of Health is not familiar with how many of these 80 persons under investigation actually came from Wuhan. That's basic.
Your Honor,
how do we stay on top of the situation when the fundamental information or basic information is not even in our fingertips?
Yes, Your Honor, but we
What if the number is 80?
No, sir, because we have Germans, we have
precisely, but
Americans,
we don't know.
Filipinos, yeah.
Okay,
No,
well-
we have. We will give you the list.
No, you don't know. I'm sorry, Mr. Secretary, but you don't know the answer.
Because every day it changes. We have a tracking mechanism. It changes every day because, especially because...
How can it change every day that he came from Wuhan? He came from Wuhan. That won't change.
Well, the two with positive nCoV results, dalawa lang sila. Dalawa lang po sila.
So far, that's why we are monitoring the persons under investigation. So anyway, we would like to have that information submitted to the committee. We would like to know, and I think the public deserves to know, how many of those 80 came from, would be similarly situated as the other two, who ended up being positive for the virus, so that we know exactly the extent. And I don't know if other members of the cabinet or the interagency are aware of this, because they should be aware of this too.
Ilan?
If the Secretary of Health is not aware of it, what about the other secretaries who are tasked to address the problem?
1 out of 80, Your Honor.
Are from Wuhan.
Yes, Your Honor. Let me also just add, Your Honor, with your permission, Mr. Chairman, that we have already expanded the from Wuhan to the entire China.
Yes. And so the next question, which I raised earlier, is of these 31, have we also tried to contact? Did they come by airplane? Did they arrive here? What aircraft? Do we have these details? 31 came from Wuhan. How did they arrive? By aircraft? Which aircraft? When did they arrive? Do we have that information?
I believe we have that information, but the details is something that we need to generate and put it in a report that we would like to submit to the committee, Your Honor.
And we would like to know if they came from aling airlines, alam ba ng publiko, sino yung mga sumakay dyan?
At meron na pong pahayag ang PAL and Cebu PAC as to the flight number. That's why they were able to farm out this
So this is the
information.
flight number of the 2, but the 31. The 31 under investigation who came from...
DZXL Special Coverage.
That portion was brought to you by Joy. Purong patak, bisang katutak.
Parami na ng parami ng parami ang guminhawa sa Sandong Plus Herbal Capsule.
Ako si Sinay Daganson, isang housewife. High blood ako noon. Uminom ako ng Santon Plus Herbal Capsule na tulungan na mag-normal ang blood pressure ko.
Mabibili sa mga suking butika.
Mahalagang paalala, ang Santon Plus Herbal Capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Hindi matipid ang malaking bote ng ordinaryong dishwashing liquid. Kasi...
malaking bote, daming buhos, daming kuskus sa oras pagod kay gastos.
Ang bote ng Joy matipid. Kasi...
isang purong patak ng Joy, mabulang ang Joy, mabulang ang Joy. Joy, totoong matipid. Isang purong patak ng Joy, mabulang ang Joy, mabulang ang Joy. Joy, totoong matipid. Purong patak, bisang katutak.
Joy, purong patak, bisang katutak.
Hi, Daddy Delpin Geronimo po para sa MX3. 2 years ko nang kasama ang MX3 capsule. Ang MX3 capsule ay may clinical study na low in sodium, cholesterol, and fat-free. Tested and proven ito. Mag-MX3 araw-araw. Tunay, natural, at original. Tulad ko.
Mahalagang paalala, ang MX3 capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
24 hours of germ protection. Shield Bad Soap, Shield Bad Soap. 24 hours of germ protection. Shield Bad Soap, Shield Bad Soap.
Protektahan ang kalusugan ng pamilya. Mag-Shield Bath Soap regularly. Kills 99.9% ng germs at recommended pa ng Philippine Nurses Association.
Shield Bad Soap, Shield Bad Soap.
Shield. Galit sa sakit, may malasakit. Shield Bath Soap. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified. World-class quality.
ACS.
DZXL Special Coverage.
Mga kasama, balikan natin mula sa Senado, si XL Radyoman 1, Grace Mariano.
Patuloy ang pagdinig ng Senate Committee on Health na pinamumunuan ni Senator Christopher Bongo at lumalabas ngayon na hirap ang Department of Health o DOH na isagawa ang contact tracing sa mga nakasabay sa eroplano ng 2 Chinese national sa bansa na nagpositibo sa novel coronavirus. Ikinatwira ni Health Secretary Francisco Duque na 17% pa lamang sa 331 pasahero ng eroplanong sinakyan ng 2 Chinese national ang nakokontak ng DOH. 5 sa mga ito ay nagpakita ng sintomas ng virus, 4 ay nakakwarantina habang yung isa tumangging magpa-quarantine. Ikinadismaya ng mga senador ang mahinang contact tracing pero paliwanag ni Duque ayaw kasi ng mga airlines na ibigay sa kanila ang detalye ng mga pasahero dahil sa Data Privacy Act. Gate naman ni Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin dapat nagkukusang kumilos at makipagtulungan sa contact tracing ang Bureau of Immigration, ang Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines at Civil Aeronautics Board dahil hawak ng mga ito ang immigration form na sinusulatan ng mga pasahero sa paliparan ng kanilang mga impormasyon. Di naman ni Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade walang nakalatag na protocol at mayroong failure of communication and coordination kaya hindi nagtatagumpay ang contact tracing kung saan dapat nakikipag-ugnayan daw kasi ang DOH sa CAAP at iba pang kinaukulang ahensya. Sabi ni na Senators Francis Kiko Pangilinan at Panfilo Ping Lacson may failure of leadership sa panig ng DOH kaya sablay ang contact tracing. Mungkahi naman ni Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa maaaring tumulong ang Philippine National Police o PNP sa pagsasagawa ng contact tracing at garantisado sa loob ng 2 hanggang 3 araw ay apprehended o accounted agad ang mga nakasalamuha ng kumpirmadong positibo sa nCoV. Samantala sa pagdinig ngayon, binanggit din ni Duque na hindi pa nakikremate ang bangkay ng 44 na taong gulang na lalaking Chinese national na namatay matapos ngang tamaan ng nCoV. Umatras daw kasi yung una nilang kausap para magsagawa ng cremation, pero may bago na daw silang kausap at inaasahan nilang maisasagawa na ito ngayong araw. Nilinaw naman ni Duque na walang dapat ikabahala dahil ang namatay na dahil sa nCoV ay hindi na makakahawa pa. Kasama mo sa Senado, Radyoman 1, Grace Mariano, Tatak Arimen, Bisexel, 558.
Radyoman Grace?
Yes.
Oo. Kung hindi na siya makakahawa, bakit umayaw yung una?
Hindi na detalya ni Secretary Duque kung ano ang dahilan ng pag-ayaw. Ang mahalaga ay meron na silang nakuhang bago na pwedeng magsagawa ng cremation.
Oo. Yung mga airlines, di ba, ayaw nilang magbukas ng libro sa mga pasahero. Ano yung solusyon doon?
Merong immigration form na sinulatan ang kaap, nasinulatan sa paliparan ng mga pasahero na hawak ng kaap ng iba pang mga ahensya tulad ng Bureau of Immigration na pwedeng gamitin sa contact tracing.
Okay, maraming salamat Grace. Si XL Radyoman 1, Grace Vergel Mariano. Samantala, mga health workers pinabibigyan ng hazard pay bunsod ng 2019 novel coronavirus acute respiratory disease. XL Radyoman sa Iskon Debata.
Hiniling nga ni House Committee on Civil Service and Professional Regulation Chairman at Iligan City Representative Frederick Xiao sa gobyerno na bigyan ng hazard pay ang mga frontliners na direktang tumutugon sa 2019 novel coronavirus acute respiratory disease. Bagamat batid ni Xiao na limitado lamang ang hazard pay, pinatukoy nito sa mga otoridad ang dapat lamang na makatanggap nito. Git ni Xiao, nararapat lamang ito dahil ang mga health workers ay may direktang risk o panganib dahil silang unang humaharap sa mga posibleng carriers at pasyente ng nCoV ARD. Nanawagan na rin si Xiao sa Department of Budget and Management at Civil Service na agad itong aksyonan. Welcome naman sa Research Institute for Tropical Medicine o RITM kung mayroong gagawa ng inisyatibong dagdagan ng hazard pay ng mga health workers na direktang may contact o tumutugon sa mga pasyenteng nagpositibo at kasalukuyang nagamot sa naturang sakit. Kasama mo sa kamera, Radyoman sa Conde Batak, Tatak RMN, DZXL 558.
I-like na sa Facebook ang RMN DZXL 558 Manila. Ako si Radyoman, Lourdes Escala.
DZXL News Break.
3:52.
That portion was brought to you by Joy. Purong patak, bisang katutak. That news was brought to you by ACS Manufacturing Corporation, ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS.
That portion was brought to you by Joy. Purong patak, bisang katutak.
Dumarami na ang guminhawa gamit ang Mighty C.
Ako si Anita Gitelan, isang vendor. Yung allergies ko dati sobrang pahirap sa akin. Nag-Mighty C ako na wala ang allergies ko. Salamat sa Mighty C.
Kontrahin ang mga sakit. Vitamin C na alkaline base. Mighty C.
Tayo na at sabay-sabay na makinig sa palatuntunang maghahatid ng kaalabang pangpinansyal at pangkabuhayan. Tutok na sa Balitang Land Bank sa umaga tuwing Biyernes alas 5:30 ng umaga dito lang sa RMN DCXL 558 Radyo Trabaho para sa mga produkto at serbisyo ng Land Bank. Magtungo sa pinakamalapit na Land Bank Landing Center. Maaari din kayong mag-text sa 0939-771-6488 o tumawag sa numerong 8405-7000. Hatid ng Land Bank.
We help you grow.
For the wages of sin is death, but the free gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus, our Lord. Romans 6:23. Ang mabuting balita ay hatid sa inyo ng MX3. Mag-MX3 araw-araw para M-Extraordinary.
Paalala, bumili lamang ng MX3 products sa mga lehitimong drugstores nationwide. Iwasan ang bumili online liban kung sa MX3 website www.mx3.ph.
Noon ay love na love kita sa aking dishwashing. Ayun pala kadiri ka sa antibac ay bitin. Ang akala
akala ko pa nga, lahat ng kalamansi dishwashing liquid, antibac ang galing!
Kaya mag-Smart Dishwashing Liquid na. Mapakalamansi o lemon parehong antibac. May double tanggaling formula. Tanggal galing ang sebo, tanggal galing ang bakterya.
Smart Liquid Dishwashing Smart ang tanggaling-galing.
Smart Dishwashing Liquid. Manufactured by ACS Manufacturing Corporation. ISO certified world-class quality.
ACS.
This news is brought to you by EO Executive Optical. If you love your eyes, come visit EO Executive Optical today for expert eye care. With over 100 branches nationwide to serve you, EO has been voted by consumers as a Reader's Digest Trusted Brand 2016-2017 Platinum Awardee.
Marami na ang natulungan ng Santon Plus Herbal Capsule.
Ako pala si Wilsimi Hepielago nga taga Old Buswang. Nag-take ako ng Santon Plus. Dati wala akong ganang kumain at saka may arthritis pa nga ako eh. Kaya ngayon, nag-take na ako ng Santon Plus, nawawala na yung sakit ng arthritis ko. Nagpapasalamat ako sa Santon Plus na nag-take ako na nawala na yung sakit ko. May gana na akong kumain at nawala na yung arthritis ko.
Kayo rin, mag-Santon Plus Herbal Capsule na. Mabibili sa mga butika.
Mahalagang paalala, ang Santon Plus Herbal Capsule ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Inuman na kasama ang tropa. Huwag kalimutan ang kapitan ng inuman. Gin Kapitan. Sarap ng init at hagod na kayang-kayang kapitan. Para sa tropang walang iwanan.
Kapit-kapit lang.
Gin Kapitan. Kayang-kaya mo yan. Drink responsibly.
Marami na ang natulungan ng Nature Soya Coffee.
Ako si Angela Valdez, isang student. Mahilig talaga ako sa kape kaya sinubukan ko ang Nature Soya Coffee. Bukod sa masarap ito, 0% caffeine.
Kayo rin, gumamit na ng Nature Soya Coffee. Mabibili sa inyong mga suking butika.
Mahalagang paalala, ang Nature Soya Coffee ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Lumipas.
Ay sisingit ho namin dyan yung sa coronavirus.